I'm not here today to tell you that you shouldn't play Ashes of Creation. I'm not here today to tell you that you should play Ashes of Creation. I am not here to review the game. I'm not here to slander it. I'm not here to praise it. I think it would be disingenuous of me to, based off of how little I've actually played the game and how little I actually know of the game. But what I can tell you and what I do want to cover today is the state of the game and how it has been perceived, which admittedly isn't very well. Now, I will immediately preface this entire thing by stating the game is in early access. What this means is that this is not the final version of the game. There are going to be ample changes that have been made to it over the course of its development process. Whether or not it ultimately ends up being finished or delivering a high quality experience is another topic altogether, but releasing onto early access to this right here, mostly negative English reviews out of almost 2,000 total reviews within 48 hours of the game being available. It is the 13th of December right now. The game released on the 11th of December. It's just a little over 48 hours ago. Seeing that going into the game, seeing that there are supposedly active lawsuits against Ashes of Creation, seeing dozens and dozens of threads made on Reddit, on Twitter, all criticizing the game, seeing the egregious queues. People are sitting in queues for hours and hours unable to get in, and then seeing it peak at 31,799 players is a little bit concerning. Let's start this off talking about the concurrency numbers first. 31,000 for a new MMO is admittedly not very good. Lost Ark peaked 3.5 years ago at 1.3 million. Throne and Liberty peaked a little over a year ago at 300,000. Now, I will point out here that people were claiming that Throne and Liberty wasn't doing very well with a 300,000 concurrent player opening. More than that, Blue Protocol Star Resonance, which also launched just 2 months ago, peaked at 94,459. I will also stress here that people said a sub 100,000 concurrent peak on Steam is a death sentence for a game, that the game was dead literally day one. What does that mean for Ashes of Creation then, that opened at a third the numbers of Blue Protocol, a game that was touted as being dead? Clearly, there isn't a whole lot of interest in this, and that's fine. This is an early access game. It also has a premium purchase price, so it makes sense. A lot of people aren't going to spend the $40, $50 to actually test the game out, and they shouldn't. A game in this early stage of development, because it is in alpha or pre-alpha, realistically has very finite amounts of content to actually offer players. And when you get into the game and you see the degree of content, how finite the game is in terms of things you can actually do, then it's going to leave a bad taste in your mouth, and people are going to do this. They're going to leave negative reviews. On the one hand, there are people leaving negative reviews concerning specifically the login queues, and that makes sense. With only 30,000 concurrent players, realistically, you shouldn't have to wait 8 hours to get into the game. This guy says he gave up. This guy also says he gave up. This guy said he gave up because he couldn't get through the queue, being an employed human being who also has a relationship. This guy was stuck at 30 and he gave up. This guy was in queue for 4.5 hours, then he misclicked. Here's an entirely different thread. Waited about 6 hours to get in and play. I was 2,000 in queue. When I finally got in, I played for 5 minutes, got disconnected from the server. Now I'm 400th in the queue. I simply cannot believe it. And, you know, this isn't unbelievable, because this happens a lot, very often, actually, when new MMOs release, when new expansions for MMOs release. But at the same time, I do understand the frustration of these players, because there are only 30,000 concurrent players. What this means is likely the devs here didn't anticipate there being many people that were interested in all, and likely as an extension of that, don't have the server capacity to actually accommodate those players. I haven't heard anything about additional servers being opened, because maybe they're expecting the player base to dip pretty quickly. But either way, these are launch day woes. I mean, these are like launch day woes that are carrying over for several days, and hopefully they do get addressed. And there are people saying that Ashes of Creation is a scam. They're going to require hundreds of millions of dollars more. God knows how many years to release. That was from the MMORPG subreddit, that one. Y'all know that that subreddit is one of the worst subreddits when it comes to actually discussing MMOs. They hate MMOs with a burning passion. They literally like Guild Wars 2, and that is it. And don't get me wrong, Guild Wars 2 is a good game, but Come on, there are tons of good games out there. People are constantly giving the excuse it's only early access to defend against any sort of criticism. Ashes of Creation is nowhere near half finished yet. It has bare bones content, no story after level 6, no real lore whatsoever. People need to stop defending games like this. It's what encourages bad games being developed and mass layoffs because the product is garbage and nobody will want to play it. I think that is fair criticism. It really genuinely is. Yo, I don't mean to interrupt the video, but I need to take a moment here to thank all my incredible patrons over on Patreon whose support continues to allow for me to do regular videos like this every single day on this channel. Thank y'all so much, including our YouTube channel members. You guys mean the world to me. So do you guys as viewers as well. Now, without further ado, let's continue. Here's a thread. What the hell am I playing? I put a bunch of hours into it so far and I'm astonished at the state of the game. Rubber banding makes it unplayable. No, that's a legitimate criticism. Everything feels groggy, like I'm playing EA FIFA FC. Pressing buttons to interact with things is interesting to say the least. The sounds my mouth makes hurts my brain. That sounds like more of a personal issue though. Tagging mobs is inexplicable. Quests, yikes. I mean, there honestly aren't really that many of them. You're playing Crashes of Creation. No one here is shocked. If you did 5 minutes of research, you would have known the game isn't in a great state. Now, this is a thread made 3 hours ago with hundreds of comments on the official Ashes of Creation subreddit. This is not the MMORPG subreddit. This is not Twitter. These are threads actually made on the official subreddit itself. Here's another thread. You guys are going to kill this game. Damn near every one of the negative reviews on Steam are product received for free, and I have 1,000 hours in this game, and I just don't think it was ready for early access. Okay, cool, we get it, but the whole new player base from Steam hasn't had a chance to really play that yet. The mostly negative rating is coming from you guys. You're all like, I want the game to succeed, and then you shove it down a flight of stairs before it can take its first steps. Review bombing the game on release is going to scare off new players who, I mean, they're not review bombing it, they are genuinely stating, I have played the game, it's not ready. That's not, no. I mean, yes, that is definitely going to inhibit the success of the game, but these are things that players need to know, because at the end of the day, whether or not they play it, whether they spend $40 to $50 is dependent for a lot of people on how well, how positively reviewed or negatively reviewed a game is. So no, I don't agree with that at all. I do agree that they are potentially going to kill the game, but I also agree that they should, or disagree rather, that they should instead be doing this because it helps people, and I mean, it stops people from spending money unnecessarily. I really wanted to like this game, but it is not in a playable state. I feel scammed for paying to be an alpha tester. For a game that is an alpha and is open to feedback and reviews, I've not seen more cope or deflection in my entire life. I'm genuinely impressed by how well some of you managed to just deflect. Keep it up, guys. Needed more time to cook. Looks like it might be something tasty eventually. I was expecting to taste some cake batter, but got a bowl of raw flour. Then here we have Intrepid Studios going full damage control. In an unfortunate turn of events, it appears that on release, many players who purchased on Steam just so happen to be unable to link their Steam accounts to their Intrepid account through the game launcher due to the site being under maintenance. Now, infrastructure issues are common during MMO launches, except the catch here is that just having the launcher open counts to Steam hours, meaning thousands of players are unable to refund without even launching the fucking game. Interesting how every streamer is playing though, and they all seem to think the game is phenomenal. A goated Steam review right here detailing how they also own numerous content creators, hundreds of thousands of dollars and more. Really, is that a thing? Holy crap. Okay, that is legitimately a thing. $1,200 on, I mean, everything is just stacking up against this game. About an hour and a half ago, I posted this in the Ashes of Creation Reddit. Upon gaining traction, it was removed by mods, and soon after, more tame posts with less concerning info were promptly then posted and left untouched. Here is a lawsuit against Intrepid Studios. Here are videos and links going over the history of all their court documents, along with speculation about what's happening with their shell companies. There's more here, his past dealings with MLM networks. I mean, like, there's so much information to go over here. Here is more information on the lawsuit that's going on. The complaint brought by Ballard Spar alleges that Intrepid Studios failed to pay for cloud services provided under a September 2022 agreement, despite multiple payment demands and the eventual cancellation of services in April 2025. The suit seeks damages for breach of contract with alternative claims for unjust enrichment and promissory estoppel. The case is SATA Systems LLC versus Intrepid Studios Incorporated. Goddamn, like, I mean, genuinely, this game has had more issues actually getting to this juncture and has had more issues since launch than any other MMO release, I think, in the last like 5 years. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think this is a bad game. I don't think it's a good game either. But at the same time, when everyone is negatively reviewing your game, when there are tons of people that can't even play your game, wasting hours and hours and days, and then being unable to refund the game because, I mean, hell, they couldn't log in and they wasted all that time. Now they've crossed that 2-hour threshold. When there are lawsuits that are going on, you just have to wonder, like, what is going to happen? How are they going to come back from this? Can they come back from this? Will it ultimately end up doing well? Or are people just going to throw this under the rug, brush it aside? And then what, 11 years worth of time, effort, financial investment, all the programmers working in unison to produce the best quality game they could, just being inconsequential. That sucks. Now I'm hoping here that the game does well. I was hoping that Blue Protocol Star Resonance did well. I was hoping that Throne and Liberty did well. I mean, we need more MMOs. It doesn't matter. We just need more MMOs to do well, because every year more MMOs get canceled, more MMOs get shut down, and the genre is shrinking bit by bit. And judging by what we're seeing here, that seems to be a theme that's going to continue moving into the future. I know you think that you just hit the end of the video, and technically, yeah, you have. And I know your first reaction is to close out of it at this juncture, but don't. No, instead, I urge you to take a moment here and click one of the videos on screen that are coming up in just a moment, so you remain up to date with everything going on in the gacha genre. Trust me, you're not going to regret doing so. Stay flaccid.